I bet. What's going on,
Okay.
everybody? It's your man
What
Chris
up?
is
What up?
here,
What up?
and here with your man John. We back again for another live talk.
Yeah, we live. We outside, touching pavement, touching grass, all that shit. Just stick inside. We out and about, getting there.
Yes,
Good
sir.
time. What's on the extended right now?
On the ascendant, well, where I live on the ascendant is gonna be Virgo,
Okay. Might be the same for mine. I think I'm on the same longitude.
and you are, and
Yep.
you, hey, yeah, it's Virgo for you, and you are exercising.
Yeah. I'm out trying to. Let's talk about it. Routine, changing my behavior, changing my habits. Hey, the trick is with dogs. You act like you're not scared, so they don't want to bite you. Hey, boy. You a big dog, but this a big ball, man.
Domesticated dogs are Virgo too.
Yeah, but that's Pisces. That's a big dog. Yeah, man. So I'm out and about, trying to get my life together, man. I want to talk about life in the context of astrology and stuff like that, because past few weeks has been a little bit difficult. You know, haven't been the most easiest things to deal with, but I'm making the most out of it. Um, it's working on routine and time and engineering, schedule, lifestyle, time, man. We all got 168 hours in a week, man. I don't know if people be trying to shorten it up and say it's only 24 hours in a day. That's true, but perception if you change 24 hours and 168 hours in a week, you give you a little bit more time to breathe. You know, you can spread things out a little bit. When you spread things out a little bit, you still have to see what you're responsible for, what's necessary, what's significant, and what's bullshit, and what can wait. One of the biggest things we all have to do is provide for ourselves and secure and maintain resources. On the Maslow hierarchy of needs, one of the most important things is physiological well-being, food, clothing, shelter, somewhere to put your things, and then security. But before we get there, we gotta talk about resources, money, assets, property, all tour stuff, which makes a trine to Virgo.
Hmm.
So all roads lead to Virgo. Um, you know, how you, my bad. Let me cook real quick.
Got
I
you.
want, I want, I want to take it somewhere. So your resources, when you procure or secure your resources, that's how you sustain your food, your homeostasis. I think homeostasis would be fit for Virgo. Would you think?
Homeostasis being, yeah.
Yeah, because you're talking about routine and the state of something. So homeostasis is one of the things. Virgo is very integral to life, but I'm working on my routine. I advise everybody to do that, the primary stuff. Make it time to work out, having the right resource and being, I guess the word I want to say is steadfast with your diet. I heard earlier this week, you can't work off a bad diet. And I'm
Mhm.
feeling that shit right now because I was just running. Motherfucker, I am tired. Shouldn't be this tired. But I'm gonna wrap it up with what I want to say. Again, I cannot stress enough how significant it is to get your routine together, get your primary things sorted out first, spend weeks, months coordinating, mastering your shit. I'm just now getting back outside on the weekends, working out, getting some air, getting some cardio, getting some time to myself, getting into nature. And if you're in the city, man, find a park, But in all, make time for yourself. You make time for everybody else. Running around for people, running errands, being at work, tending to your kids, handling foot if you have any, tending to that girl who probably ain't shit, shit like that. So, or if you're a woman, dealing with Roscoe and shit, you know. So With all this, man, give yourself the space and time to be selfish. You got Aries in the eighth house of Virgo. You want transformation. You gotta put yourself first. You know. So yeah, that's my build.
And that was fire. And I'm gonna build off that too. Going off the what he said first with the earth signs. First things first, happy Taurus season to everybody. All the Taurus
Taurus
there.
season.
All you stubborn ass Tauruses, you think you perfect. You
Yeah.
have high value, you value yourselves more than anyone else in the chart, things of that nature in the tent. Or you value your food too, coming off
Yeah.
that. You got your minds on your money and your money on your mind. Um, what else could I say? When it comes towards your partners, you gotta stop being so sexual. You gotta stop putting sex first above everything else. You gotta understand that there's that stability, sharing your partner's property. That's what you should be looking for in relationships. And when it comes towards your anger, you always take it out in private. You're not the type of person who lash out in front of people's faces. But to come off that, right? Going off of Taurus. What is Taurus? Taurus is nature. Taurus is money. Taurus is resources, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Taurus is an earth sign, right? Here's something that we all need to understand. The material world is the earth signs. Everything that we want to acquire, our sensations, or what makes us satisfied, materialistic things, right? That we all need. Your needs are Tauruses. What you need and what you want is both the sign of Taurus. They're
So
not
desire is an earth sign. That's
desire.
like an earth attribute. I would have
It's
thought that was a fire thing.
desire. I'd say passion. Passion is fire. Desire, I'd say Scorpio, which is the relationship sign of Taurus, and
Mm-hmm.
and your wants or needs. Like I want something, but I don't necessarily have a passionate, lustful Martian type, desire to go get it per se. But when you need something for a fact, and it's like you say in your heart, in your Laszlo hierarchy of needs, that's going to be Taurus. The need of something like I cannot, if I don't have this, I literally am going to die. That's going to be Taurus. The desire to go get it so you won't die, that's going to be more Scorpio or even Aries, even.
Mm-hmm.
Having, what was I going with it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And talking about life and going on to Virgo because it's still on descendant. The fifth house, aka the natural ability of any sign, what makes a sign great or its power. Why do people care about natural resources so much, like gold, money? Why are these things so important? Because again, there's a routine behind it. Virgo, the fifth house of Taurus is going to be Virgo. Virgo's putting in that work. Don't we got to
Mm-hmm.
work for our money? The
Mm-hmm.
highest thing, if you put Virgo at descendant where it is right now, the highest achievement of what makes a Virgo happy, what makes make a person who puts in that work happy is the resources, is the materialistic gains, is the wants, the needs, the satisfaction of all that work that you put in finally coming into fruition. But you got to look at the third sign from the third earth sign, Capricorn. Capricorn. What is Capricorn? Capricorn is time. It is pain. It is difficulties. It is everything having to do with the highest form of accomplishment you can think of. It is the peak of the mountain, the top of the sky. You have to be willing to put in that time and effort to not only gain those resources, you have to put in what is the fifth house of Virgo? Is going to be Capricorn,
Capricorn.
is going to be putting in that pain. When you're working, when you are naturally working on something, it's going to take time. You're naturally gonna have to. This is astrological law. This is the laws of the universe we're telling you right now. It is in the
Mm-hmm.
design of God that once you start putting in that work in consistently, Capricorn, over time, Capricorn, going through all the pain and the hardship, Capricorn, you're going to get all the resources. You're gonna get all the money that you want. You're gonna have the satisfaction that you want. You're gonna have the natural sense. You're gonna be able to go out in nature. Even if you look at nature, that tree behind John right now, that thing probably took like 10, 20, maybe even 30 years to grow to that height. It took time for something that beautiful and of that quality of natural ability. We need trees to breathe. And taking
Mm-hmm.
that and having that air in action takes time. Like me, I'm still a youngin. I'm still what they consider a young adult, right? Because I'm not in my Saturn return yet. But I can even say I still have problems with time. And I'm a Virgo rising. I'm a Virgo rising. I still have problems dealing with time because I can get impatient because I have Mars in my 10th house. And Mars doesn't like
Hmm.
Mars is quick, it is fast, it is quick money, fast gains, fast things. Fast and slow are honestly they're naturally squaring each other. They don't mix too well. They
Let,
don't mix.
let, me, let me hit it with this real quick, right?
Yeah,
Quincunx. Quincunx to Virgo is Aquarius.
yeah.
And we live in a time where everybody want things instant. Everybody want to be good and right on the first try. Everybody want things on the first go around. That's not, you know, we're talking about things, you want things to happen suddenly,
Mm,
unexpectedly, like poof, pop, there you go. And the reason it ain't gonna happen because the Queen comes to Virgo, and that's universal law. You can have the mechanisms to make things instant, but even acquiring the mechanism takes work, takes time. You
mm.
gotta construct it and put it together. Nothing just happen instantly. You can't just wake up one day, do 10 push-ups, and say, "Yeah, I'm there now." You gotta do a routine. You can't escape that. I think Virgo's the phase lock things to how it's supposed to be. You know, that's why when people violate nature and shit like that, shit is weird. It's Aquarius.
And
So
I'm gonna build off that too. Having
yeah.
the natural this if anybody doesn't know what a quincunx is, right? If you go to from Virgo, Virgo naturally rules the sixth house. So if Virgo is on the first house, right? If it's the first sign, what's the sixth house of the sixth house ruler? Virgo. That is Aquarius. So
Hmm.
naturally, Aquarius points towards engineering, mechanisms. It points towards everything having to do with it points towards all types of like science and putting in that work. You know what else points
Hmm.
towards Aquarius? Humanity, being human. When it's funny too, because if you think about it, Virgo is the sign of perfection. But
Hmm.
once you put in that work, once you realize that Virgo is perfection, and when it comes to putting in that work, you can't be perfect because you're only human.
Hmm.
You can't put people seem to think, like John just said, people think you're gonna get it on the first try, after the first 10 days, after the first week, after the first month. Hell, you may think you get it in the first year. I'm not even at
Hmm.
a year yet in my process. That's how much time Capricorn is gonna take for you to really build what you need. Humans, right?
Yeah. My bad. Go
Humans,
ahead.
yeah, I'm about to land it for you.
Uh,
Humans, we are capable of doing good and bad because Aquarius is immoral acts. Aquarius naturally squares Taurus, which is nature, because Aquarius is engineering, is taking what is naturally made and forming something out of it. You didn't allow it to be natural anymore. You said, I'm going to take something that's already here and morph it to what I want. That's engineering in a nutshell. We as humans naturally have a hard time gathering resources. That's why a majority of the populace tend to be lower middle class to even broke across the world. It's a natural
hmm.
difficulty, but just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's impossible for somebody to build.
So one thing that popped into my head I wanted to make mention is Pisces, the axis of Pisces and Virgo, and Pisces is the fraudster, the scammer, the charlatan, things like that. And it's interesting. It's sandwiched between Aquarius and Aries. So the makings of a charlatan is someone who wants something instant, who's impatient, who can't wait, who don't trust the process, things like that. I just want to say one of the things I wanted to mention that came to my mind is, everybody, you know, it's a dream setting, you know, and what opposes that is the one who work hard, who work diligent, the one who know they work, the engineer, the one who put who put that shit together, you know.
And we're talking a lot of astrotheology talk right now.
Hmm.
Let's refer to that real life for a second, because we passed the
Hmm.
13-minute mark. We could get a little bit more, you know, unprofessional, a little bit more vulgar at this point in time in the video. So I'm gonna just say it like this, if y'all think you're gonna be running around not putting in this work, always trying to take a shortcut to get to life. Aries, right? Trying to take the short option. Don't you know that always
Mhm.
blows up in your face? Aquarius
Mhm.
literally blows
Yeah.
up in your face
Killer. Probably.
when you try to prioritize. Like me, I have me as a young adult male, I am still fascinated by the female form, but I do not allow myself to put myself into a jeopardizing situation at my job, at my church, or anywhere that I go, because I understand if I were to do this, it would give me a momentary high, but long term it would mess me up all the way. This is what you call denying yourself what did you call it, John? Denying yourself momentary satisfaction?
Yeah. It's immediate gratification.
Yeah. Is it denying yourself the instant gratification for a long term? They've done experiments on this. Scientists have done experiments on children even where they've given children the option. You can get a cookie now, or you can wait a little bit and get two or three cookies later. And a majority of the children took one cookie first, not
Mhm.
knowing that they were going to get an extra cookie if they just waited a little bit longer. A lot of people, again, if you're a human, that's the funny, let me say it this way too. Aquarius, right? In its eighth
Mhm.
house, the eighth house of every sign is going to be your wounds. Is going to be the natural part of your body. You have wounds, and where you have not difficulties, but it's like that's the area of your life that you're weak in, and that's going to eventually kill you. Humans have Virgo. Aquarius has Virgo in the eighth house. That's going to point towards humans are not perfect. We get killed. We end up dying off. We end up hating being criticized. Criticism. People hate to get criticized. Everybody thinks their
They
shit
act
don't.
like they dying when they get criticized.
Everybody acting like they all perfect. Everybody want to be in their ego because Aquarius's natural relationship partner is the sun. Ego. They love to be in their ego, but the second you start to criticize someone, what's the quote? Everybody hates Virgo. No, hates a Scorpio eighth house, a critic, Virgo, and that's humans. Who's the everybody they're talking about? Humanity, Aquarius. That's where the quote comes from. It's all astrological in nature, but when you come to understand, like we've been telling you this entire time, you put in that work, and that's how you get all the benefits that you want at the end of the day. That's where it comes from.
Hmm. So I myself trying to make habit, trying to change things, man. I woke up this morning wanting to really change my mindset. That's really why I woke up this morning, you know, realizing the things I've seen in my life, not like no tragic shit, but like the realities and things. And it really motivated me to just be like, you know what? I can care less about how I was looking at the world before because it wasn't sufficient.
Mhm.
So I'm doing what I can with what I can do to make these changes and, you know, excuse me, please, pardon me, to reshape, remold, and remove my life because, you know, you keep going on a trajectory, that shit gonna take you exactly where it's gonna take you, you know? So I'm trying to do this my own form of divine intervention, and a lot of it is emotional, a lot of it is discipline, a lot of it is decision making, you know, prioritizing, all these things that is I would say are mental tool that's required to what I'm trying to do, which is hit escape velocity, lose 20 pounds, feel better about myself, in all kinds of ways, you know, and you know, defy the outcomes that I currently have in my life for better ones, and really that actually independent of astrology, and that's another thing I want to talk about, which is the over reliance on astrology while at the same time not even having the type of understanding that you would need to really, you know, make
Use
that
it
shit
properly.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah, people use this thing so improperly and have a gross misunderstanding about what they have going on that, you know, they think it's something that it's not. And this goes into my my research I'm doing for class. One of the things we talk about is how the public, you know, the modern public have been introduced to astrology through psychological astrology, and act like this because I'm like this, and I do this because I'm like that, shit like that, where they don't understand the natural aspect of it. And aside from that, it's a lot of this understanding. Um, I'm gonna go a few ways, but I'm gonna try to make it all cohesive, right?
Yeah.
That people have a gross misunderstanding about what we're doing and how this thing works and how to make it really do its thing. A lot of people go straight to the psychological aspect. Okay, this person's a Taurus, so this person like this person's a Virgo, this person like this. And then when someone mentions a sign, they think of a person. They
Mm,
think of a personality trait. They think about a disposition. They don't think about the energy or what it or what the actual sign
ideogram.
represents.
Right.
Yeah, the actual what the ideogram is trying to communicate. I was getting my hair done yesterday. I see my shit looking right, Let me see, get myself out the sun. Boom. My shit looking
Eh,
straight. So sitting there with my homegirl, and I'm building with her. I'm doing her chart stuff like that, and I keep mentioning to her the signs, and they're like, "Oh, this person's this sign. Well, I'm gonna get along with this person, and this person's like this, and this sign is weak, and stuff like that." And I kept trying to tell her, like I tell everybody else in the common things, that's not how it works. You know, it's not how it works. My bad, y'all. I am tired. I'm I'm at the park working out, getting my getting my cardio in. That's really what I'm about to start really making myself a habit of doing is coming to the park and working out. But no, I'm telling her that the way you understand things is not how it works. And I'm keep trying to drill it in her head, but she kept going back to, I don't get along with this sign or that sign. I'm like, you're all toe signs. Everybody's all toe signs. Never mind a lot of the other extra stuff, but you're all God. I explained it to her like this: God used a divine cookie cutter to make the world, which is He made everything unique, but not it's not too, after a while it gets redundant and repetitive. So everybody have in their makeup these 12 designs as we know it,
mhm.
and independent of astrology, of actual studying it, the phenomenon is still prevalent. It's the default of things. God configured the world using specific forces and stuff like that. That's constant, and we um we fit it into what we use as a chart and things like that. But it's not astrology is just not for reading people. It's the conditions of nature. It's about you know how to contextualize nature and us in it. And I told her, like I told everybody, it's my favorite thing to say. Humans are so arrogant to think that just because we have Wi-Fi and cars and a house and stuff like that, that we're not dead ass in the middle of nature. That all this shit go out in 2 weeks. You're gonna be asking where the fish, where the deer at, when they coming out, when's their season, where's their pattern, or should I be outside tonight or not? I try to explain to her that, on a primal level, this is used for survival. It's not
Mm.
just, oh, who can I have sex with? Who do I get along with? Who am I going to marry? When am I going to get some money? Like all that shit is helpful and sufficient, but it's taking something that could make a difference between navigating reality. I think it's not necessarily a gross misuse because you can use it for anything, but like that's like low hanging fruit. I ain't saying don't go have sex or don't go get any money, but don't think that
That's all
astrology
there is
is
to
going to
life.
be, yeah, don't think astrology is going to be the medium. No, because we're talking about, you know, people put a bad rap on the fortune telling and stuff. Like, this is another thing she said to me. She said somebody else was doing her reading, and it was like, you're going to get a Porsche, you're going to have this type of house, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, how the fuck can you see a Porsche in a chart?
Somebody teach me how to do that. I want to
Teach
know.
me how to do that shit. The problem is that people, we're talking about charlatans, people who aren't well studied but profess themselves to be well studied and go in front of a whole bunch of people and speaking out of conjecture or just say, what people want to hear and shit like that. And now we have people looking at shit all crazy because not only don't understand what's going on, they also feel like they've been finessed. And humans don't feel good about being fooled. Even primates don't feel like, primates don't like feeling like they've been cheated, and they don't like feeling like they're deceived. So
And it makes sense too. So, oh, we have a commenter. But for some people, those things are their life, right? Well, I'm gonna try to answer that first. If you were to look at the chart, right? I can say this as one of the people who understands the chart on like a macro level, right? In the grand scheme of everything, let's say it like this. If you're talking about the Bible, you believe that that God created everything and He has a plan for everybody. You know, basic understanding. No matter what religion you believe in, you're gonna say that to be true. If you truly believe that God has a plan for everybody, right? Then that means yes, in their plan, in God's divine plan, you were supposed to get scammed that day. So if I look at the chart, I could say if I were to look at your chart for that moment, I would be able to say yes, you did get scammed at that moment in time. But for us, right? Us living right here, right now, forever in the moment, I can't, me or any other astrologer on the planet cannot say for a shadow of a fact that on that day you're gonna get scammed, Pisces or Neptune. Hell, it could be Mercury even at some points in time. It could be scammed, or that could mean maybe you watched a TV show, you watch a storytelling TV show. Maybe you were taking some drugs that day. Maybe there's hundreds of thousands of keywords for what the planets mean. We always live in the moment. That's why even I, an astrologer, I listen to manifestation books. I listen to mindset books because here's what you don't understand too. You manifest your reality and the chart just aligns to what you do. Like John was saying earlier, what you don't understand is the chart, there are hundreds of thousands of keywords just for one planet. If you live your life according to the way you want to and you do the things you need to get you to where you need to go, Venus is going to manifest for you to be $1 million, but that's because you spent 10 years working on Venus to manifest to be $1 million for you. Venus could just mean you bought food that day. Venus is spending money. You could have lost a lot of money. That could mean you lost $1 million too if you were manifesting your life in that way to lose $1 million as well.
here we
That's
go right here. Here we go
that's what
right here,
people.
right?
Hmm.
Oh, but so like, I'm gonna go back and try to answer that question. But when you say that, it made me realize, how much quantum physics play a role in this, right? Because in the 50s and 60s, they did the double slit experiment, and they realized that a wave turns to a particle when it's actually focused on, and then it turns back into a wave. And all we're doing is measuring light. We're measuring cosmic phenomena that's happening on a cosmic, entity, which would be the planet. We're dead ass in the middle of space type shit. And like, prior to our understanding, we didn't have quantum physics hundreds of years ago, so we could fill up the ass of critics of astrology. But all that to say is like, it's building off what you were saying, dovetailing off what you were saying, how it manifests differently for people, and it made me appreciative that I came through cosmos physics as a unofficial student, and understanding that we're doing a forecast when we doing our readings. We can't give you no guarantees. Ain't no guarantees in life, you know. Something could be promised, but it's not certain. You could say somebody promised something to you tomorrow, and they wake up dead, you know. But shit, what was the comment that the person made?
There, he made the comment, but for some people, those things are their life, right? And it was based on what you were saying earlier.
I mean, that's their perception and worldview.
Hmm.
And your perception and worldview, like I was saying earlier, it shapes and molds your reality.
You were talking about the chick, and um she was saying, "Oh, I don't like this sign, I don't like that sign." And
Yeah,
you said something else after that that she said, and he responded to that. I just don't remember what you said about her.
yeah. I even though I have snot on my nose, I'm good though. But nah, it's I forgot what I said too. But I ultimately told her like it don't work how you think it work. I think she was looking at it from a ego personality sense where she's looking at the psychological aspect of it, not the natural sense of it. We're talking about the essence of things, the essence of people, the essence of nature and things like that. That's what we get to. And when we're forecasting, we're looking at the nature of the how you know I'm gonna use some new words that I'm just putting together. Cosmic essence. We're looking at the state of the cosmic essence in your life. We're looking at the world and how it's situated around you and things like that. But it's not necessarily fixed how we would see like the physical world. We're not we're using our mind. We're using, to me in my mind, right? We're channeling energy from using signs, and these signs are ideograms for waves of energy and light and things like that. So we're looking at things coming into fruition. That's what we're doing. We're going one step beyond, looking with our physical eyes, and we're actually using our mental faculty to see how things will terraform. That makes sense?
Yeah, that actually does make a lot of sense. And let me break it down a little bit for the people too. If you didn't understand the intellectual piece that he was given, it's the w- we just look at astrology with our eyes and we look at it at face value, but we don't understand that these planets could literally mean anything towards us in life. Like you got to be able to look at like if I say Aries, you can't think of a person. You got to think Aries could mean fire. Aries could mean anger. Aries could mean soldiers. Aries could mean short, quick, fast, anything fast. It could refer towards time. It could mean, oh, time's moving fast. It could mean, oh, this um fly just flew by me real quick, or I'm in a car driving 90 miles an hour. You got to understand, and you need to look at the bigger picture of life, like outside of just, I live in this state, this town, this field. No, you got to look at nature. You got to look at the universe around you. You got to understand the sun projects light down here on earth, and we are just, depictions of light. We are solid beings, technically, right? But we understand that there's air. You understand that there's air, but you can't see air, right? As far as you are concerned, somebody told you that air exists. You didn't go and prove it yourself. You just
Hmm.
believe air exists because somebody told you that. I believe air exists. I'm breathing
You,
right here,
you,
right now. And if I take
you
too
can
much
see it in
air,
the right conditions, just like heat. Just like heat. That's something that came to mind. We talk about these forces, right? And we say invisible, right? But visible just means you can't see it. That don't mean it's not there. I can
it's
close my eyes, the world just became invisible.
right. Like you can't see
you
words.
know.
You can't see words. Like you're using only one layer of perception, your sight, because that's the main way humans like to perceive things. If they can't see it, it can't be real. That's a lie. That's an idea that a majority of people have. But I hear sound,
Hmm.
I can't see sound. I can taste
Ooh, I'm from the show me state, head ass.
I can taste food. I can't speak to it. You see what I'm saying? Like you have more senses than just your sight, and it's because we have these other senses that we have the ability to comprehend what all of these planet signs and what this universe around us could mean. But
Hmm.
we getting really into the technicals of it. Let me bring it back down. Let me bring it back down to the earth for a second, right?
Hmm.
Taurus season, the planets, right? Each and let's break down some actual astrology for y'all. Like if you in the chat too, if you are, for example, like with that lady that John was talking about, if you, for example, realize in your life that you run into certain type of people and they have a certain sign, and you don't like them or you always have problems with them, that's not because of them. That's because you have a planet in your chart that's dealing that is difficulty that has difficulty with that sign. You got a planet in your chart, which could be Saturn, or you could have what they call a square, right? These are all things that indicate difficulties, hardships, bad times with these certain people who have these energies in their chart. But don't think you don't have any Cancer in your chart just because you're a Leo.
And that's what I was trying to explain to her. Like, yo, you're also signs. You keep saying Taurus are bitch ass niggas, but like, you
You
got
have no
Taurus in
like,
your
don't you have
own.
a throat? Taurus points
Yeah.
towards the throat. Don't you have a throat? You got Taurus right here. You have a throat. Cancer is the eyes. Don't you have eyes? Leo is a heart. Don't you have a heart? Most people don't understand this, that the signs point towards everything, literally anything and everything you can think of. It doesn't even have to
Hmm.
be a real person. Anything can have a birth chart. A planet can have a birth chart. Well. Okay, let me say it differently. A car can have a birth chart. The day the car was manufactured, you could use that as a birth chart. The inception date of a company, you start an LLC, the LLC can have its own starting date. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be an animal, it could be an idea, it could be a piece of paper, a legal document, a tree, you name it. This astrology applies to everything. You got to understand. You can't, let me say it this way. Astrology is not a get out of jail. The amount of people that I go to me for readings, especially in my job, who think astrology is a get out of jail free card is insane. I thought at first when I started with astrology that it was some get out of jail free card. Like the second that you learn it, you could get whatever you want. You cannot skip the rules of life. You cannot skip put in the hard work, take your time, be good to people. These are all fundamental rules that make up the chart. These rules are what makes up the chart. If you don't have a proper understanding of the world around you, if you don't have common sense, you can't use the chart properly. John stepped out for a second, he'll be back. You can't use the chart properly. You need to understand. And they said to watch it. If you're still in here, Cosmo 361 needs an LLM. I think you mean an LLC. He does have his stuff. The Cosmo Physics brand is copyright. If is already copyrighted, there are certain formulas. I am an official student. There are certain formulas I can't tell you. I could get sued if I try to tell you the formulas that I've learned. But let me get him back in here. But
I'm
yeah,
back. My bad.
you like
Go
that's
go
what I'm saying. All the things you were taught in life, you can't escape it. Like let me say it this way, right? Let's talk about choice. Let's talk about large language model. What's a large language model? Do you know what that is, John?
Uh, a large model of languages.
That's what I'm assuming too.
Is the answer in the title?
I don't now they say AI. They're actually his wife is working on becoming a software engineer, so they could have I think they actually have something like that in the works coming through. But stay tuned to Cosmo 361 to figure the see where they're going with that on that particular stance. And I myself am about to start using Chat GBT more with astrology, especially to make my content because I've been seeing a lot of astrologers on the internet who don't know as much as me or John using it, and I'm just like, okay, at some point in time, I'm gonna need to get into Chat GPT just for the content making portion of designing my videos, so I can push more proper astrology onto the people. But if you're a regular person, thanks. For if you're a regular person, you're not gonna skip the rules of life. You need common sense. You need to know how to take care of yourself, take care of the family. The more you know about real life, the more you know about philosophy, the more things you know in general, the better astrologer you're gonna be. Because think about it. I'm about to let you speak, John, because you look like you about something to say. If
Yeah.
you think of people in the government right now, if you think of scientists right now, everybody uses the weather app. Everybody goes to Channel 5 News, everybody goes on their phone and they pull out, oh, is it going to be sunny today? You know that weather app ain't right 24/7. You know sometimes they're going to tell you it's going to be sunny all day and then it comes out of nowhere and rains. Do you still use the app? Yes, you do. You
It might
still
not even rain in your neighborhood.
it might even rain in your neighborhood that day, but you still use the app and trust it. But if you go to an astrologer for some reason and they get even one thing wrong, some of you is like it's entirely BS. You can't use it.
Mhm.
You gotta understand the dynamics. It's because a lot of people play in the popularity fallacy because it is or appealing to authority. So because a quote unquote trusted source like the news is speaking about cosm or weatherology, cosmology, and not astrology, that means you cannot trust it. And that's not the case at all. That's called using your discernment. But I landed.
I shit. What I was going? Oh yeah, I'm speculating on something, bro. I'm speculating that the first AI was an astrology chart.
Could have been.
Yeah, man. First divine artificial intelligence. And I don't even say it's artificial. I would say it's a natural intelligence because
Mm,
we're looking at nature. We're taking something. I think it's only artificial because it's a construct of man's mind.
right.
You know, energy is best observed in a circular motion because energy is centrifugal, right? So I just think I think that, but from there, bro, I think that the first LLM, large language model, was astrology because of all of its keywords and things of that nature. You know,
Because we humans are the most quote unquote unnatural of them all of these
yeah,
people have speculate because you got to understand too when we say everything is natural that derives from the natural world technology. Well, think about it this way. Aquarius is the sign of engineering, and everything in reality has a little bit of Aquarius in it. Aquarius makes up, if you're using tropical, we're talking tropical astrology right now. And in tropical astrology, we use geometry, which is mathematics. We use a geometric 360-degree circle. Technically, he meant to say technically. Okay. Everything in is natural that derives from the natural world technically. Well, yes, technically everything would be considered natural, but I'm gonna tell you this. Engineering. Every animal at some capacity engineers. I'll give you an example. Birds. Birds will take twigs, sticks, leaves, everything from across the ground and build a nest to put their eggs in. Even birds have aquarium, the natural ability to take something that was already there and redefine it, transform it scorpionically into a piece of technology, a nest to better serve and hold their purposes.
I
Every,
want to take a my bad.
yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
take I want to take a swat out at what was said respectfully.
Hmm.
When you talk about artificial, we're talking about things that don't occur naturally in nature.
Right.
Buildings, cars, pencils, things like well, actually, you probably can use something to actually be like a natural pencil in a way. But we're talking about things that don't occur naturally in nature. Even if we're talking about like a farm, it's kind of artificial because it's being cultivated. It's still naturally, it still use aspects of nature, but just because something is composed of things that's natural, metals and things like that, doesn't mean it occurs naturally in the world. I think that's where we're going at with Aquarius.
Mm. And I like that too. Even if you think of humans, right? Humans are naturally ruled by the sign of Aquarius. How Aquarius points to humanity. Humans are the only species to walk upright bipedally on two legs. Not
Mhm.
even if there are other species that can do it for a short period of time, even apes, orangutans will sometimes walk on all fours on their knuckles, things like that. We are the only species who by default have the ability or need to walk upright even from birth as a baby. We train ourselves to walk upright on two legs. That is unnatural to every other. Plus, the amount of theories that we have that are some of our DNA and chromosomes are not even from this planet or from an ancient time that we cannot understand how we were manufactured this way. I say it's from God, but that's a different story. That is all to say. And to get back on topic, if we're talking about life, life is we are forever trying to find out the mysteries of this life, Pisces. We're always trying to figure out what is happening next. And I know y'all can see this chart behind me with all the planets and things like that that I have up here. Aquarius, I'm standing behind it. I'm really blocking it. We do not have all the answers, but I can tell you this. Everybody in life is going to have a particular pattern. that they're gonna go through. Everybody's gonna realize after a certain age, a certain period of time, hey, this situation that I'm in kind of reminds me of this situation I was in before. Hey, this situation that I'm in right now is kind of similar to that other situation I was in the past. Once you figure out your own pattern in life, you come to realize, okay, I'm at a branching point right now. I could take my life left and do the same. This is the concept of doing the same thing over and over again is insanity. You could come to a branching point in your life where you realize I can go left and do the same thing over again. I can reminisce on the past, let my past failures dominate my mind and let it create my future, or I can reminisce on this moment now and live in the present and think of a moment in the future and now change your timeline. You can now quote unquote change your timeline and now manifest a new version, a new pattern, a new circle of life to run into.
And here's a spill too, right? Because like we're talking about over reliance on astrology. You can do that without astrology. It just so happened that astrology just kind of enhances it. It makes it a little bit, it's like it's like you could do all the stuff you can with hand tools and stuff, right? Screwdriver, wrench, and shit like that. But if you had like a power drill, baby, you in business. And that's what astrology is. Astrology is no more than a tool, y'all. That's really, really what it is. And I'm trying to overemphasize the over reliance of a tool. In things I study Kabbalah. I'm actually an official student of the Red House. Shout out to the master teacher A.A. Rashid, right? That, you know, it's not so much of the tool, but the person using the tool.
Mhm.
So again, you don't you want to first of all understand the nature of the tool that you're using. You know, you want to get some knowledge on what you're using. You just don't hop in the car and just say, "Oh, I know how to drive now." Like, nah. That's why so many people suck at parallel parking. Just saying, you know. But astrology is a tool. You actually, and y'all know y'all can live life without it. But it just so happened, it's
It's
just
so much
good to
better.
have it.
It's just better with it. Like again, it's like it's that extra step. Like you can go to the supermarket every day and buy your food, but if you have some coupons, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's like and here's what extract
Or your own bags.
or your own bags, anything that just makes it a little bit easier or a little bit more convenient or a little bit better for you to or more advantageous in your favor, take it. And
Even if it's not a guarantee, it's still better.
that's what I'm saying. And it's like to know the astrology is the ultimate thing that I've yet to see that I see every day to not only know thyself, but to know the world around you. That's the tool that specifically it's like having Google in your everyday life. It's like, hey, I can see this is going to happen today. This is going to happen. Even if you don't get it exactly correctly, you're always going to be within a like a 80% margin. I have never, since I've started this, not been in an 80% margin of being correct or been like, oh yeah, that actually makes sense. This thing that I did see does actually play to this sign. It's one of those things. Once you see it, it's not even once you see it. Once you start doing it for yourself, once you start really investing in it for yourself, or you trust and believe in an astrologer, and when an astrologer tells you go outside and look, you're going to see something that is going to pertain to what he said or what she said. That is going to be accurate. It's just one of those tools. It's one of those things that I'm saying. Once you got it, like a phone, once you got it, it's just going to be
It's
something
intuitive.
it's intuitive. It's just gonna be something that you just can't leave the house without because you won't be able
Hmm.
to see it. Promise you.
Right. I also want to say this too while we're even talking about the efficacy of astrology, right? We gotta understand how the people, the architects and designers of astrology were thinking. The Babylonians, I would say that, it's a worldwide study, but the way people were thinking prior to the scientific method, of course, I got this from the book, what's the book? The Nature of Astrology,
Yeah,
right? That they weren't thinking with precision and exactness. They used precision and exactness, but I don't know, for some reason they did not really use too much precision with
because
the
remember,
creation of it.
They used, like you said, they use approximates because this world,
Right.
this universe works in approximates. Nothing is, when we think of like humans have the wrong idea of what perfection means. People think perfection means consistent. They're actually thinking about Capricorn. You're thinking this is the way it is and there's no variation any way, shape, or form. That is
The
what 90.
ultimate.
Exactly. That's what 99.9% of people think of when they think of perfection. This consistent Capricorn idea that this is just how it is. The universe is an approximate. It shifts a little bit to the left sometimes, it shifts a little bit to the right. That's why there's Libra. That's where there's Libra that points towards balance. You got to understand, you got to be able to balance. You got to move in approximates. Not everything in your way, not everything is going to go 100% the way that you think it's going to be. Sometimes you're going to go a little bit to the left, too little, a little bit to the right, too much. And you have to
Your,
learn how to move in balance with it.
your titties ain't always gonna be the same size all the time.
They're not. They're not, honestly, because though if you think of human, I forget what it's called, but like the living species genome, everything is asymmetrical. Like they said, like if everything was truly symmetrical, the universe, like there would be no living beings. Like there has to be that asymmetrical quality to people, or whatever the case may be.
There have to be a little speck of uncoordination in the world to move shit along.
That's how we are even animated. Life is like
Mhm.
it's like a power switch. It's between, we are forever fluctuating between on and off, on and off. And look, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. So what is that creating? Animation. It's creating motion. This is what we call time. This is called the movement of time. This is how we're moving right now in the moment because we're ever shifting between on and off. That's the approximation that these ancients really got, because that's how the universe works.
Show enough.
Sure enough, indeed. We got like 9 minutes left. So what else you want to kick it to the people? You just want to kick some knowledge, some general advice, or you just want to talk about like,
Yeah, general knowledge, general advice in life, man. That's why I'm swimming. That's why I'm swimming right now, man. I'm swimming through life. Um, like I said, man. For me right now, all roads lead back to Virgo.
mm,
Getting my routine and my health together, making time out to even be able to have time to practice and do things. Working on my foundation and things like getting to the core things, which is the fifth house of Virgo. We're trying to get to the true essence of things that we never have enough time. That's why we have you know weeks and calendars. One thing I want to talk about. Yeah, one thing I want to talk about was cycles.
mm.
You know, cycles, recursive habit. You go through cycles and things like that. If you can look at Aquarius, it got Virgo in the sixth house. Am I right?
If you're looking
Yeah,
at
Virgo
Aquarius, if you're looking at Aquarius as rising, Virgo is in the eighth.
eight. Okay,
Cancer would be,
I would.
Cancer would be in the sixth.
Would you speculate that cycles and patterns is an attribute of Virgo?
Pattern,
Because we talk about
yes,
routines being Virgo, and
yeah,
then you compare
pat,
a cycle.
yeah. And a
So
cycle, yeah, habit, routine, cycle, that's all cyclical in nature. And it's not necessarily, it's not in itself the consistency. It is just talking about the pattern or the cycle in itself. Yeah, that's Virgo.
that's it right here, right? In my cosmology, and what I understand, the universe, the nature of the universe is Scorpionic. You especially for man as we know it, which we come here through sex. Through
Mhm.
everything you have, it requires a sacrifice of some sort and things like that. Life is give and take. You know, things. Not nature here specifically. It recomposed itself. Everything decays and come back to a form of something else, right? But Virgo is the cousin. Like I'm not gonna lie, and I ain't trying to hype it just because I'm a Virgo, but Virgo, I would even say amongst the earth signs is like the ultimate sign. We got Capricorn in the fifth house. I'm not saying it's better than every sign. I'm saying it's the ultimate. You
Hmm.
know, the things about Virgo is very, rather, rather. It's
Hold on, John, your mic is cutting out.
Virgo's the ultimate earth sign, just like Scorpio is the ultimate water sign, and they're cousins. I have a meme I've been looking for that I've been able to find. It
You,
said Virgo
they
question your what? Yeah, Virgos question your. I forgot how it go, but it's funny as hell. But Virgo and
it's like
Scorpio are cousins. You know,
it's like Scorpio is the one who hides the bodies, and Virgo's the one who's like cleans up the bodies, who take them out the trash.
right? So Virgo and Scorpio go hand in hand with reality. Because you're talking about cycles. You're talking about Scorpio. You're talking about recycling and transmutation and things like that. Virgo is the Earth sign version. No, the Earth
Yep,
sign model
common
for
affinity. Yep,
Scorpio.
the
Right.
signs of common affinity. Anything you could say when you're reading the sign of Virgo, you could say when you read the sign of Scorpio. They'll read exactly the same way.
hmm And all that to say is again just for life for men and women. Take inventory of your daily ongoing things, man. Like if you don't like something, do your best to change it. Do whatever you can to change or modify, whether it's, taking your autonomy and doing whatever you want with it, or negotiating things or collaborating in things, man. I don't believe in staying stuck in life, man. You gotta change something. You change your whole routine and cycle and things like that. Man.
And what you do in life should make you happy. And again, that's Taurus, because Taurus
Yes.
has Sagittarius in the eighth. Whatever you do in life, even your work, because since work is connected to life, Scorpio is connected to Virgo. What do most adults do? Isn't most of your week work, like 40 hours out of your week? Isn't that maintainly work?
These days now, yeah, that's a relatively modern thing for the last 100 years, but I would take away from being true. I say this too, right? If you can't be happy, learn how. If you can't achieve joy and stuff in life, learn to be happy with what you have. You
Hmm.
know, here's a rule. Here's something to think about. Don't take social media, especially you youngins, right? Who's born into social media and shit like that. Don't take that to be an accurate depiction of life. It's not.
It really isn't.
Be happy with what you have. Work towards the future. Wherever you start right now, what you do, and you stay consistent, it will snowball on something. You 13, 14, 15. By the time you 28, 29, 30, whatever you're doing, whether it's engineering, DJing, dancing, whatever type of art or craft or whatever you're doing, it's going to turn into something. I've been studying psychology for 14 years now, y'all. I've been cutting hair for 10 years, y'all. I've been studying astrology going on 10 years, y'all.
And
It
that's what
should
I'm
just,
saying. This what I'm saying. This is why I always bring John onto the panel, because he's been doing things far longer than me. I've been only studying astrology since like 2020, so this is like my fourth year in, and I feel like a baby. Like I feel like I don't know nothing. And when it comes towards like putting in that work and that energy and that time, when it comes towards being the social media person that I am now, I started back in like 2016. So it's been almost 10 years. For 8 years now. Wow. Damn, I am getting old. For 8 years now, I've been on this social media grind. I started on Instagram. I've had accounts deleted. When you enjoy what you do, here's what I'm gonna close it off on, and then I'm gonna let John finish it out. When you enjoy what you do, it's not about being 100% right or accurate. It's not about not having failures. Anybody you can think of in your life that has done something great has taken more L's than W's. It's just what
mm-hmm.
happens. If you think of anybody famous, they've taken the same amount of L's a person may take in 10 years, they probably took in 1 year, because they just put
I,
themselves out there that often.
I took an L today going to the going to the soccer field. The man's got tired as hell. But you have to do things over and over and over again. I'm gonna tell y'all one of my golden rules of life is refinement.
Mm,
Refinement. I'm gonna keep getting fined, y'all. Okay, ladies, y'all hear me? I'm keep
Yes.
getting
You hear that,
fined.
ladies?
Let
You
me
hear
keep
that too?
getting fined. Let me get
Watch.
refined.
When I get my, I've been hitting the gym again too. I haven't. I was about to
Yeah.
tell John that I've been hitting the gym again too. Plus, I'm getting my money right. By the time I'm like
Mm-hmm.
28, 29, it's Big Chris in the scene. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Just make sure you maintain your emotional state, 'cause that shit can have you in the bed for a few weeks, and you wake up 6 months from now like, damn, when's the last time I've been to the gym?
Yes,
Real
sir.
shit.
Hey, for a fact, for a fact. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like once you enjoy what you do, because me personally, I was put here to do this astrology stuff. I looked for the highest extent of philosophy and spirituality I could find, and it landed me right here. And I'm still doing it to this day because I enjoy it. My accounts could be taken down tomorrow. I'm just gonna start over again because I genuinely am not in it for the money. I genuinely enjoy helping people. The tool that I learned, this cosmophysics that me and John got, this is something that we're going to be using for the rest of our lives. Whether we want
Mm-hmm.
to or not, this is just something we're going to be able to see and use for the rest of our lives. I don't need to do this for the money. I just, rather do it for the money because if I could get paid doing this at the same time too, I would love to do that. But even if
Oh
it takes,
yeah, we got the right to chat. We got the right to text y'all ask for our skills, y'all. Let y'all know that's some Virgo shit too. You gotta get paid.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's the highest extent of Virgo. We happy when we get our money right. When we get our
Yeah.
resources, that's what's gonna be. If you love a Virgo, keep making them food, buying them food, and allowing them to get their money. Trust me, they're gonna have your
The
back.
wind between the wings of a Virgo is money. All right, y'all.
Yeah, we just taught you some knowledge you can use wherever you go. Any
Yeah.
Virgo you find.
That shit just came off the cuff. All right. I want to make a closing statement. It's something I'm thinking about. 'Cause I'm thinking about the youngins. I'm thinking about young men. I'm thinking about young women. I'm gonna say this in respect to young women. I know that women suck at taking criticism, but this comes out of love and concern for nothing else but well being. Like I honestly, Chris, I don't think women be thinking about how they're gonna be when they're older, bro.
That's yep. This
I
generation,
don't.
even this younger generation, even under them. Like I'm talking my generation, and even the
I'm talking
generation
about my
under
generation
me.
too. Yeah. I don't
We
think they go. I don't think they think about. I don't think they're thinking past 27, 28, bro. I don't think they're thinking past the Saturn return, bro. I don't think they're thinking past. I don't think they're thinking about. Oh shit! I look up and I'm 50 years old. You're 50 years old and your life is riddled, men and women, right?
it's just
I'm
it's
starting off
just
with women.
their
It's
life is
riddled with
straight
bad decisions.
partying, paying for looking pretty on the surface, but their houses ain't clean, their money ain't really right. Especially my generation, my niece, she always looks good, but she ain't got no money in her pocket. She ain't got no money in her pocket.
That's magical.
Like, what are you doing?
That's magical, bro. Well, how the fuck you pull that off? But it's like if you this is the big thing where I have with both our generation, right? We're separated by a few years, but we bleed
Yeah,
into each other, right? It's it 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 it, it travels a little way from astrology, right? But it kind of it's relevant. Let me see how much battery I got. Make sure, yeah, we good, we good.
yeah.
So my pet peeve is people who look like they're doing the hard work but isn't really doing hard work because when the time comes when Saturn rings his ass around that corner, now I'm gonna let y'all know. Saturn rung his head around the corner. Saturn is your parent coming to, and some of you motherfuckers don't have this, unfortunately. But I'm gonna let y'all know when the authority comes around the corner to check your room and see if it's clean. If it's not, you have an issue. Either they have an issue or they're like, it's on you. And then you figure out later on you should have had your shit clean because it matters. Like it's how you pattern your life, you know. And if you have in your mind little women that at some point you make it to an older age, some people unfortunately don't have that luxury, right? When people are sick, of course, and things like that. All that stuff in consideration. Yeah, we thinking about all the other people who don't have the luxury of living past a certain amount of time. Live your life as best see fit. Don't be an asshole in this world. But people who have a natural living, prolonged, you know, lifespan and stuff like that, I really think that a lot of people isn't thinking past 35 or 40 years old, and then you get older and you don't have anything going on. You just kickstarting your life and shit like that, which isn't a bad thing, but it's a very difficult situation, which is definitely preventable. My heart always breaks when it comes to people who say, "I'm gonna make my decision, I make my life," and then get old. Like, damn, man, you really, you know what I mean? You kick yourself in the ass and shit, and it's not judgment, but it's empathy. It's
Mhm.
empathy, not that I'm going through and things like that. It's empathy, knowing, you know, I don't even know where to go with that, but it's very difficult to see people. You know, even when I was younger, seeing older people who just, you know what I mean?
Who did? It's like you got to a very old age, but you still don't know what you're doing. Like you didn't get your life together. And it's like we do our best. And again, I've been tainted, like I told John this before, by the astrological lens because I have a very unique view on life now. It's like I'm gonna say it this way. I'm gonna say it this way. Not everybody has really come here to do that much. Hell,
Yeah,
a majority of
that's
people,
true.
a majority, because that's just how it must work. If you think of Scorpio, right, for everybody
Hmm.
still watching, if you think of Scorpio as having an advantage, it is always in whatever society you can think of, going back however far you can think of, it's always the chosen few who have an advantage, who have control, who have the most resources over the multitude, the masses. And people who know they're the chosen few know they're the chosen few because they have the ability to think, want, perceive at a very young age. At a very young age, I got to get out of here, or I must do something different, or I must be the one in my family to really provide. Even if not everyone, and the chosen few does not mean that you need to gain $1 million. The chosen few doesn't mean you have a yacht in Paris or something like that.
And chosen few don't mean other people aren't important or significant either.
Yeah, it doesn't mean, it just means you are, it is your role to be the one who holds the responsibility for not only yourself but those around you, whether you have a family, whether you're taking care of people in your community, whether it is to nature, whether it is to whatever you do. The majority of people, when they come here, everybody has a role to play. Everybody has a role to
Hmm.
play. We need people in a workforce. You cannot have an industrial society if you don't have a workforce. It just doesn't work that way. You
And here's a fundamental flaw of people on the individual level, in my opinion. In the Western world, where we at, right? And I grow appreciation for these things, but a lot of people don't. Pay your fucking road, dog. Nobody want to pay their road even when it's small, but like one of the most important people is the person who's pulling the fucking curtain. Nobody see them because shit gotta happen between that curtain going down and going up. Like I'm saying, like everybody wants to be the chosen one, but you're chosen to do what you're supposed to do. You're playing an integral part in someone's life, even if you're doing something that's menial and things like that, or that's a phase of time and stuff like that. Everybody want glory, but nobody want to actually, get, you know what I
get
mean,
down in the
like,
mud, get down in the dirt.
yeah,
They don't understand that that's the part of life. The quote unquote boring parts are the most important parts.
yes,
There's a direct correlation, right, between Capricorn, what you find boring, and the things you do that genuinely care about, the stability, Cancer, of what you do. That's what people need to understand. That's what people need to know. And it's like, again, at first, for the first 10, 20, 30, heck, even 40 years of your life, you may say, you may perceive yourself or other people around you may perceive like, oh, you're down. But once you start hitting 50, 60, 70, and you look all around you, and then you come to realize I was up the entire time.
and
It
now you're down.
and now you're down and you look at other people like, damn, I pity you now because you used to pity me, now I just straight up pity you now because you ain't got nothing. People don't think
Yeah,
long term, and that's what I say. You gotta be blessed. That's what I'm saying. I believe, okay, because this is not gonna come from a scientific standpoint now. This is gonna be coming from the more spiritual aspect, from the Vedic Jyotish side, the more karmic aspect. And technically this is scientific too, because matter cannot be created or destroyed, whatever the case may be, right? There's gonna come a point in time where you will reincarnate in a physical body. If you want to say it takes 4.32 billion years for that to happen, or your soul will transfer from one being to the next, however you believe in a rein, reincarnation. There's gonna come a point in time again where you are physically on this plane, whether you're still a male, maybe this time you're a female, maybe you come back as the same physical person. You just do it again slightly differently than you did last time. However you want to look at it. When you
It's
come
like
back,
in the Matrix when they said it's not the first one.
that's right. It's like you're not the first time. Like this is why when people say you were old soul, or you look at babies and you're like, how did this kid know how to do this already, or how is this person already this smart? Possibly you weren't. You haven't just done this before. Possibly God, Brahma, however you call the creator, put his finger on you and said, okay, you're going to have this special, unique talent or ability for some reason in your family, and you're going to this is the role you have to play. Remember, sometimes when I was first coming up, I thought there was something wrong with me because I was the spiritual, intelligent, astrological, scientific kid in my family. Sometimes you just want to lay back and relax and be like, you know what, I want to be just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Going to
Shit,
party.
people told me it was something wrong with me, but that's because I was in the hood and nobody didn't give a fuck about being smart.
So
So
sometimes I used to believe, you know what, I wish I could play the same role as everybody else. But again, I've come to not only accept, but to be happy with the role I play, because I've talked to John about this before. It's just like once we realize the things and tools that we have, the astrology and the manifestation, the philosophy and the celestial science, there is still yet not even Ra'aku uses the mental portions of it, the manifestation portions of it. He doesn't read the books like that. But he himself already knows it, like he lives it. But I'm saying me and John right now are in this portion in the middle where there's a niche that is yet to be fulfilled. And if we keep this up over the course of the next 10, 15 years, we're going to be the forefront of an entirely new niche of psychoanalytical astrology. I like that. We're coining that. This is a live video. We're
yeah,
coining it right here, right now. Psychoanalytical astrology that is going to blow up and be the new forefront in the age of Aquarius right before we go into Pisces. But that's a lot of
if
jargon.
we ain't, if we ain't gonna be the greatest, we're gonna be among them. So
That's
'cause
right.
I ain't too caught up with having to be the number one and the best and stuff like that. I'm the youngest child. I'm cool, so I'm being better than me. You know why? I can learn from them and improve.
That that's a fact. And you always want somebody to be above you because that means you get all the benefits, but you don't have all the responsibilities. It's cool being number two. Like if you the vice president, you get all the benefits of being under the president, but not everybody's trying to kill you. So it's cool being the number two. Like sometimes, like you gotta understand that. That's what I'm saying. Play your role. Play
Even
your role.
number
No one is
six.
even bro, that's what I'm saying. You comparing apples to most people compare apples to oranges, bro. You can't compare your life to somebody else's. It's literally impossible. You cannot compare your life because there are
Yeah,
certain
bro, just
things
be
that
an
you can
apple.
do. There's certain things that you can do that other people cannot do, and there's certain things that other people cannot do that you can do. Where people get it fucked up is this. They're like, but the majority of people care about this factor, therefore I should too. No, no. It doesn't matter what the majority cares about because what the majority may care about may actually be a detriment to the majority. A lot of the
Oh,
majority,
like sex.
yep,
Like not even just sex, but like the perversion of it, of being always horny.
yep, yep. Hey, that's a problem. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm still dealing with too, but I haven't fallen to the temptation of it. That's one thing I can say about me. I am very good at not falling into or putting myself into a situation that could fuck me over. I can say it like
I
that.
ain't gonna lie. I'm trapping myself in a situation. I'm trapping. No, I'm saying. I mean,
I'm very good at that, but that don't mean I ain't got certain connections that if I wanted to play into, I could end up losing a job over or not. But I'm just saying nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. There will
yeah.
be points in times where I mess up, John will mess up, you will mess up. You gotta understand too, at the end of the day, as long as you understand, you will take more L's than W's on your path, on your journey through life. You will make more mistakes than you do successes. It doesn't matter though, because the successes will outdo the mistakes. The successes will outnumber. If you take 1,000 losses, but you only need one win to equal up to those 1,000 losses, wouldn't you want to go for that one win anyways? It's gonna not only even out, it's gonna benefit you. The people who are the majority of people are pain adverse. I'll say it that way. If
Risk averse.
Capricorn means being hard, Cancer is being soft. I hate to say it
Mm.
that way. I hate to say it that way, but I gotta call it out. Majority of people tend to be soft. They don't like pain.
Mhm.
They don't like adversity. They don't like to be told no multiple times over and over. I still, in certain areas of my life, when it comes to rejection with women, that is something that I still have to work on getting more used to. But when it comes towards this astrology, I personally, um, it doesn't matter if the whole world tells me it's not real. I know what I know. I don't. It doesn't matter to me if my parents look at me differently, family looks at differently, friends look at me differently. These are all things that have already happened in my life. Everybody's going to have an area in their life that no matter what happens, nobody's going to be able to tell them anything about it. And those are the areas that they excel at the most. Those are always going to be the areas they excel at the most. And that does not
Except
mean,
relationships.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And relationships right now tends to be the universe saying that's something everybody has to go through, especially if you're in your I'd say 50s and down. If you're like in your 70s and 80s right now, that means you probably, and you've been married, you're probably going to stay that way. But if you're in your 50s and down, yeah, that is something that the universe said this is just going to be a common problem for everybody for the next couple of years. So
Hmm. Oh, I talked to my uncle the other day, man. He was married 3 times. I didn't even know that. I'm like, God damn, bro.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. So don't fret. Don't think, things can't go in your favor. Don't believe the hype anybody's throwing at you. This is all words from me too. Don't believe you can't do it. Don't ever think that an upset in your life is your entire life. It hurts when you look at the past. So guess what? Don't look at the past. Don't look at the
Mhm.
past. If you just keep
Nah,
looking forward and you don't look at the past, it can't hurt you. That's
I
literally
need.
how
I didn't even hear that.
I just came up with it on the spot. I'm like, this is some good advice. I should say this.
If you don't want the path to hurt you, don't look at it.
It's
God
simple
damn.
as that. If you keep moving forward and you keep predicting or envisioning a brighter future, all you can get, it doesn't hurt. Like, listen to me. Because I audiobook, I'll say better. I audiobook the same like two, three books every single day, reminding myself of these things because it makes me happy. Whatever you do to make you happy, as long as it's not illegal, right? And whatever you can do to make you
Or
happy,
hurting somebody.
or yep, anything that's causing harm. Whatever you do to make you happy, that's little. Even if watching TV, if watching TV generally brings you happiness to get you away from your problems, but you can still move forward and get your work done, make time in your day to watch TV. Make time in your day to go to the park. Make time in your day to work on your knitting. Whatever little thing that makes you happy, hone it, use it, implement it. Make time for it every single day to remind yourself whatever happened in the past, whatever happened today is gone now. You can never go
Shout.
back to that. It's in the past. You can't let something that you can never change ever again define your future. It doesn't make any
God
sense.
damn. That's deep. Is that astrological or is that philosophy?
That was more philosophy, astrological. That was
Yeah, man. I definitely need to hear that, man. See that young wisdom, y'all. See y'all. This is why I like talking to Chris, man. That young wisdom, man.
Hey, I think I've been here a couple of times. I probably fucked up myself, so I'm getting my
Yeah,
karma right.
it's my last time here. I'm done with this shit. I'm tired. And this round around suck. We got to pull up a whole nother stream. We should definitely talk about like relationships and shit. Like that you brought that up and stuff like that. Cause I'm gonna definitely put my I'm gonna down a couple hills. I'm gonna stand on a couple. I'm gonna be I'm gonna use my Christ force down this hill. Cause
You trying to pop up the other one right now? Because I'll probably have to go to the gym around 7 p.m.
yeah,
It's 4. It's like 4:55 for me right now.
yeah, bro, we're in the
I
same time zone.
oh I keep forgetting that shit. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Everybody stay tuned. I'm gonna end this live and then we're gonna hop into another one like real quick. Give us like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
Shit.
And stream.